This episode is dedicated to my neighborhood sensei on the block. Rest in peace. Welcome to another episode of Tea with Dweez. The Whisper Stories. I'm Dweez, and yes, those are tears in my eyes. Mostly dried now, but I didn't wipe them, and I encourage you not to do the same. I'm sitting in the light of the tea room in Kamakura, Japan, after having returned this week from a month in Los Angeles. The autumn light is gold, yellow, maybe a bit of white, and the sun is just sitting between the eaves of my tea room and the eaves of my sensei's home. The shutters of her windows are closed, and I don't know if they'll ever be open again. While I was in Los Angeles, she passed away. I dedicate this cup of luabao tea, mixed with a bit of shopur, to my sensei. It's fitting that the story I want to tell today involves just 2 words. Really, they're the only 2 words that exist. Maybe you can call them 2 different kinds of prayer. Maybe you can call them the only 2 thoughts that there really are. Maybe even the only 2 actions that we learn as tiny children. We learn first to cry, which is how we ask for help, which is how we say please before we can say please. And then we smile. We learn to laugh. Our way of saying thank you before we can say thank you. When I was in Los Angeles, I was asked to give a speech. The occasion was the 6th annual occurrence of what has to be one of the strangest ultramarathons in the world. One that carries my own nickname inside the title. The Grilled Dweez 1000, which takes place on the last Saturday of November before Thanksgiving. This year, some 88 people signed up to run the race, most of whom, myself and my cousin, who organizes the race and started it with me back in the year 2020, had never even heard of or seen or met before. Essentially, strangers. And in anticipation of this large group, I was asked if I could talk a little bit about the history of the race, how it came to be. And if you're listening to this, or you read my newsletter, you'll know I'm historically long-winded when it comes to things I care about. And the cosmos gifted me with the burden of caring quite a bit about quite a lot of things, including 100-mile races that carry my name, that span my beloved city of Los Angeles. So I got up there on a chilly day near the trail towards Mount Lukens in Angeles National Forest, the place where the race begins. And I said, you know what I'm not gonna do? Tell you guys about the history of the race. Because we'll all be here way too long and it's cold out, which was true. But since I have a little bit more time here, I'll talk a bit about it. We decided to run this crazy route back in 2020 for a few reasons. The first and most important was grief. My father had died less than a year earlier, and his sister, my aunt, the mother of my cousin, passed away some 6 months after him. With them, the entire generation of Dweezes, of Dwyers, were gone, leaving just my generation as the oldest to carry forth the torch with a flame that contained who knows what. A bit of comedy, a bit of drama, and a lot of love. And to contend and grieve with some of this, and to break free from the confinements of the pandemic, and to celebrate the city that we love, the city that, if I can call any place the place where I'm from, it would have to be Los Angeles. And inspired by a mixtape series that had been about 10 years in the running by then, which combined my younger brother's musical tastes with my musical tastes. His being a bit more indie, a bit softer, a bit more wavy and multifaceted, and overall good, and my taste being a bit more narrow, ham-handed, and, for lack of a better word, insistent. We decided we would grill those together like a cheese sandwich and have the taste layer over on top of each other. And the mixes were great. They were especially great for running, which we thought to ourselves as we were thinking of running 100 miles, which itself was an act inspired by two different friends, one of whom was a book I ghost wrote for. The other was a dear family friend who had done the same thing across Death Valley. The woman who'd ran her own self-supported 100 in the book that I wrote did so in the United Arab Emirates. So we figured if someone could do it in Death Valley in the UAE, why couldn't we do it in Los Angeles? And not only that, but as guys who love to run the trails and guys who love to run the streets, we realized it was combining the two real styles of running out there. Those who like it flat and those who like it wild. Its own grilled Dweez of tastes of the trails and of the streets. And so it was that we ran it that first year. I only made it 100 kilometers in, which is about 62 miles. My training was good, but my cousin dropped out, and it felt a bit foolish to go on through the Santa Monica Mountains at 2 in the morning by myself. In fact, I could kind of hear the voice of my aunt caution against it and do the more reasonable thing, which is try again next year. But the thing about training for ultramarathons is it requires quite a bit of time and effort, and I would say at least some measure of human suffering. Because, as the title of the race suggests, what emotionally stable person would go and run 100 miles and spend 27 hours thrashing their own body across an unforgiving landscape? I'll tell you who. The people that run the grilled Dweez. Now, there's some 15 finishers, which is inspiring to say the least. I never thought it would turn into this, turn into a thing where people actually have the name of the race tattooed on their bodies after completing it. I believe there are 4 tattoos already. So people have this name, Dweez, tattooed on them. So in a sense, I guess we're all capable of becoming a Dweez, a grilled Dweez at least. But back to what I was saying before about my speech. That day I tried to get up there and explain that thank you and please were the only 2 concepts, only 2 things that anyone needed to keep in mind to fully enjoy the race. However long they completed, however much distance they got under them. I kind of thought of it like one leg is please and the other one's thank you. And the way you're out there on the trails, you're just begging your legs, please, please, please help me. And then thank you, thank you, thank you for getting me up that hill. Talking like this to your legs sounds crazy from where you're sitting. But believe me, when you're 20 miles in, 30 miles in, 50 miles in, and you're starting to lose your marbles, it starts to make a lot more sense. And in any case, it's really about expressing that we all inter-are, the way that Thich Nhat Hanh used to talk about. That our legs aren't separate from our minds, aren't separate from the trails that we run, aren't separate from the people supporting us. We may have started this run, but it was never our run. It was an idea that wanted to come into existence. The grief that we felt wasn't our grief alone. It's grief shared by many people who go out on these trails to slay whatever demons, to celebrate whatever celebrations, to engage in an act of hugging and loving and fully immersing in the city of Los Angeles, a city that gets defined and ill-defined by so many people around the world, maybe more than any other city, a city greatly misunderstood. And I'm not going to sit here and claim that I understand it, but I am going to say that I love it. And in that way, it's a lot like tea. I don't know what the hell it is. I just love it, and I can't stop. And for that, I'm grateful, and I want to say thank you. Thank you to Los Angeles. Thank you to running. Thank you to tea. Thank you to my sensei. But I also, with that next step, want to say please. Please help me. I can't do this alone. Please show me what to do next. Please help me understand how to pour better tea. Please show me where running fits in my life. Please help me be patient until I can see the people in Los Angeles I love again. And please protect the spirit of Sensei as she moves on to the tea room in the sky. There's more I could say about please and thank you, lifetime more. And maybe I will. But for now, I just want to say, please, thank you. And wherever you are, I hope you can feel the love. Because in this glow of the autumn light, it's impossible to ignore.